Here we go then, for one last time on GT Sports. Hello everyone and welcome back to the final race of the GT Sports season. Season number 5, round 9, brings to an end the 5 years since this game has been out. We've done 5, we've been able to do 5 seasons of this game, plus a few events. The success of the 24 Hours of Le Mans ends in a 60-minute race at Le Mans. We're here for the 18-minute qualifying, and we have beautiful cars on the grid tonight. It's the Group C, Group 1 cars, so the older Group 1 cars, I guess you can say. Go through the ones we've got today. We've got Manuel in the Mercedes Sauber, we've got Aston in the Jag, we've got Topster in the Nissan, we've got Ted in the Jag, we've got Tim in the Mercedes, Bonneville in the Jag, Webson's in the Mercedes, Toussaint in the Jag, we've got Tiger in the Jag, Piero in the Mercedes, Finn in the Nissan, Dutchy in the Jag, and Wolfie in the Jag as well. So the Jag and Mercedes seem to be the two most popular car choices for tonight's race. There are 5 cars available for this. There is the Mercedes, the Jag, the Nissan, the Mazda and the Porsche. They all look really similar to these cars, and they are absolutely beautiful and scary in terms of their straight line speed. You can see in the bottom of the screen someone's gone wide after the long straight. But look, we're already at 200, almost 200 miles per hour, and this isn't the longest straight at this track. There you go, the Mercedes doing 210, and can go quite a bit quicker, as you can see, which should make for an interesting race. We've got 13 drivers on the grid, a full grid, all but one. Unfortunately, Dan couldn't make it, dropped out a few races earlier. Championship-wise, we've got the drivers and the constructors have all been wrapped up. However, it is still looking so close in the battle for second place. Toussaint and Tiger lead Topster and Tim by half a point. The half points awarded in Sardinia, which was round number 4, have come back to play an important part in the championship as they now decide who will finish second in the constructors. It is half a point separating the two teams. We'll monitor that at the end of the race, seeing as it's obviously impossible to calculate a championship whilst the race is still happening. This is motor racing. Anything can happen, even with 30 seconds left on the clock. Drivers, though, are just about starting to finish their outlaps around Le Mans. It's such a long circuit. How long I will not know until the formation lap, because I haven't got my statistics up just yet. Topster, Manuel, Aston starting theirs laps. The first 3 drivers out on the track. We've got someone in the middle sector. I say the middle sector, halfway around the track. I think that is Wolfie, kind of isolated. He's got some nice clean air. Should be able to set some quick laps in one after another. We've got a nice train forming behind Piero, which has got Toussaint, Tiger, Bonnie. I think Dutch is at the back of it as well. Tim right at the back of the championship winner. Play Dutchy claiming a 4th consecutive Drivers' Championship last 2 weeks ago in Autopolis. As Tim in the background running wide at the second chicane. I don't think he got a time penalty for it, and has got away with one there, but it might have cost him a lot of time. Manuel in the Mercedes Sauber, making his way through the first of 2 chicanes, where track limits could become a slight inconvenience in the race. The track limits at Le Mans on this game are a little bit broken, a little bit dodgy. You can see the white lines on either side of the track. You can go over those white lines, but you can't go over those white lines because you'll get a penalty. But even if you don't go over the white lines, you may get a penalty, but sometimes you won't. As you can see here, Manuel's gone over the white lines, which is fair enough. It's the curbs that are more the track limits. We'll see if he gets a penalty. It's kind of like a roll of the dice, or a flip of a coin, whether you get a penalty at this track. Topster with 0.2 of a second. He may be able to serve this at the next heavy braking zone. Ben Roberts in the chat saying GT7 is incredible. Absolutely is incredible. I've not stopped playing it since about 4 o'clock today, until we have to do this race. we were just able to fit in a 9-race season before this game comes out. Tops just misjudges breaking point, and he's off into the Shadow Realm, building some sandcastles for the marshals to play with. As you can see, the cameraman in the background, I don't know if you saw him on the left, getting some nice pictures of Ted's car. An interesting and different colour combination. Ted in the Jaguar Summers has ran wide. I don't know who it is, and they've rejoined ahead of Tim. I think that was Bon Evil rejoining ahead, dangerously on the track, in the path of the finished driver. We can get a replay in quali. This often breaks the keyboard for the race, but it's a chance I'm willing to pay. There you go, there was contact between the two. I don't know if Tim's got damage. No, he doesn't, but will be affecting both drivers' laps. So Manuel makes his way through the Porsche curbs for the second time tonight. The first on his flying lap. All drivers on the yellow striped medium tyres, so they're going to start this race on the yellow striped medium tyres. The softs, mediums and hards are available for the race, but the rules for this one are two different tyre compounds must be used in the race. So it's at least forcing one pit stop, but it depends what tyres these drivers opt to go for. If they maybe get into an early incident, they could take hards to the end of the race. Tyre wear is only on times 2. This Manuel sets a 3-minute 22.2. Aston behind looks like he's going slower through the final corner with a 3 minutes 25.1. Topster, after going deep, is going to tuck in behind the Brit. As Ted makes his way through the final 2 corners, takes a lot of the inside sausage curb, and will slot into third place. Toussaint goes provisional pole. Tiger and Tim across the line, as Tim actually goes quickest by 8/10 behind, so ahead of the likes of Pierre and Dutchy, who go 4th and 5th respectively. Tiger a second behind in 6th. He might have backed off that lap as Dutchy almost goes down the inside, as Finn puts his Nissan up into 2nd place, 6.5 behind Tim. Webson's putting a time on the leaderboard, and Ben Roberts in the chat asking if we will be doing a GT7 championship. Yes, we will. Not straight away though, because I appreciate how much time it kind of takes to get the online features. It's a lot harder to earn credits in this game, so we are going to do a few events every now and then before we start a proper championship. We might do some mini championships as well, but it's likely to be Group 3 to start with, a kind of good base, a good car class to start a championship. So yeah, we're going to give it time for everyone to get the game, get familiarised with the game, and that's a massive snap of oversteer for Manuel on the exit. A huge tank slapper, can't speak today, a huge tank slapper over the curve. Finn's going purple through the who knows what sector 3 I think. But yeah, we're going to have some events, we'll give it time for everyone to get the game, get some cars, etc, etc. But yes, there are going to be a number of seasons on the new game. Back to qualifying, 9 minutes left to go, and just how beautiful these cars look and sound. They're almost going double file. I think that's Tim or Topster pulling off to one side, letting these guys go through. On board with Pierre, you can see he's got 1, 2, 3 cars fairly close ahead of him. He will be getting the lovely slipstream effect, but will be creating a nice airflow behind the car. Wolfie sets a time good enough for 8th place behind Tiger Assassin. 3 minute 24.777. There's a few drivers going wheel to wheel up the road. I think that's Bonnie and Tiger Assassin. Indeed, it is the Brit getting ahead of the other Brit. Dutchy almost looking to go down the inside of Tiger in towards Indianapolis, and we're only in qualifying. Hello, welcome to everyone who is tuning in to the final GT Sport race of this championship of the league. We might do the odd event on this game for those who haven't or don't plan on purchasing GT7, but the interest obviously has to be there. Tiger Assassin going for a move on Bon Evil into the Porsche curves. He's gone the inside with a 6/10 time penalty. Bon Evil gets a switchback move, neatly slots in between him and Dutchy, but you've just got the feeling they're all holding each other up in qualifying. Manuel improves. I think that's good enough for 4th place behind Toussaint on a 22.5. As Dutchy slows down to let Piero, his teammate, go through, winning the Constructors last week in Saint-Croix on Piero's home ground. He rounds the final 2 corners. It doesn't look like it's going to be an improvement. What about Tiger Assassin with a 7-10 penalty? Serves it at the final corner. Maybe not the smartest place to serve a penalty, because now he's had this lap ruined as well. Dutchy not improving after backing out at the end of the lap. Boneville does improve despite going wheel to wheel with Tiger in the end of the 5th, 4th, 6th sector. Has a huge snap of oversteer on the exit, and Tiger Assassin closely behind will be experiencing the full force of dirty air, making his way through the first sector now. He's 8 tenths off his personal best, so it doesn't look like he's going to improve. Been into the pits, off of the mediums, will fit another set of the medium compounder tyre. Down the back straight they go. Toussaint giving Tim a nice slip, a nice toe. As you can see, Toussaint doing 205, 210. Tim doing 220 miles per hour almost, as he bump drafts the Brits going in towards the first chicane to give Toussaint a little bit of extra straight line speed without the slipstream effect. Running first and second. It's currently in qualifying. We've got Dutchy ahead on track, and look at this, we've got wheel-to-wheel action in qualifying already. Piero on, I think that's Websons or Boneville. Tiger Assassin looks to be getting involved in this as well. It is Bonnie going wheel-to-wheel with Tiger. They're racing in qualifying. Tiger on the inside. Doesn't slow it down in time. It's gone off into the gravel, and then it's going to be his lap done and dusted. Piero following him in the background, and mistakes being made in qualifying with drivers misjudging the gaps in between each other. They're getting too close when they're starting their laps, and by the time they get to the straight, they see themselves in a position to overtake. Seeing as both drivers and constructors have been wrapped up, we've changed one of the settings. We put the slipstream from realistic up to weak, so it extends the gap from 7/8 tenths to about 1.5 seconds. So that should make for some incredible racing. Thank you to everyone tuning in. Don't go anywhere, because in 5 minutes time we are about to witness an amazing race, and I can promise every single one of you that this race is probably going to be the best race this season, maybe even the best GT Sport race we have done in the league, and we haven't even had the 5 red lights go out. And I'm confident that these guys, with these settings, are going to produce some fantastic racing. We've got the tyre wear down fairly lowly, so we're not going to get too many pit stops. We're not going to get too many people struggling with the tyre wear. You can see we've been doing 14 minutes already, and look at Dutchy's tyres, hardly a mark. He's caught up, he's towing Boneville along. Bonnie's caught up to the back of Dutchy. He is purple by 2.1 seconds. The last time I said that must have been when I was unconscious in my sleep. I don't think anyone has had this much of an advantage. Mind you, he's 1.9 seconds off provisional pole position. If he keeps it as it is, he could go 2 tenths clear of pole or further. It's looking really good though as he rounds the final corner. This could be outstanding. You know what? 2.1 seconds clear of the rest of the field. A 3 minute 19.1. To repeat, 2.1 seconds clear of the next driver. How? I mean, if anyone had any questions as to how or why Play Dutchy is a 4-time GT Sport champion within this league, then there is the answer right there. Putting it right out of the bag. Look how close it is in the midfield for a track that's so long. Toussaint 900ths behind Finn and 300ths ahead of Manuel. The gaps in between as well. Tobster not too far behind Aston, only about 600ths separating those guys. Tiger and Toussaint going wheel to wheel, running in 4th and 8th place. Toussaint on the track getting ahead of his teammate, but I think they're going to go back at it again, wheel to wheel down the second straight. This time Saint will not be giving Tiger the toe because they're pulling up alongside each other, and Tiger gets himself back in front without holding each other up too much as they make their way through into the second chicane. They've got Tim closely behind them, who is purple by 400. And he doesn't want to catch up to these two guys overtaking each other. You can see riding on board, Saint thought about going for a move on the inside. Tim slows it down in time. Tiger's not got the best run. Saint and Tiger going wheel to wheel down the whatever straight this is. Technically it's the 4th straight. But this could be an incredible lap from Tim behind. He's got 2 teammates in front going wheel to wheel. 2 teammates who he's fighting for runners-up in this season's Constructors' Championship. Let's just hope no one gets in his way, because he is on, or set to be on, a good lap to challenge Dutchy, but he's got a 5/10 penalty. He's been able to serve 3 of those 10s. After Indianapolis, Saint pulls off to one side to serve the penalty. Let Tiger go through. Is there another opportunity to serve that penalty? I don't know. Let's have a look at his sector split though, going through Indianapolis. Not Indianapolis, the Porsche curve, sorry. Oh, he's 9 tenths up. It's not going to be good enough for pole position, but will be good enough to extend his advantage. Time's running out at such a long track. There's not going to be long left over. With the lap that's 3 minutes 20 seconds, I could only set 3 minutes as the max continuation time in qualifying. So if you cross the line with 21 seconds left to go, that is it. Your qualifying is over. These guys are just about going to get one more lap in, if they can keep it in on the track. So Saint, if he can do a good lap, we just about get a lap in time before the game kicks everyone out. So Aston is not going to have enough time, and he backs off of this lap. Piero goes through, so these guys aren't going to have enough time, I believe, to set another lap. Look in the bottom right, we've got 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 seconds, and it's 4 minutes. Interesting. I thought 180 seconds was 3 minutes, but hey ho, we'll roll with it. So everyone crossing the line now will get enough time to start one more lap. Ted's going to be the first driver to finish the quali session. No, can he promote himself any higher than 12th place ahead of his teammate for 11th? No, not quite. Just misses out on his personal best. Tiger's backed off of his lap. I think it looks like he's weaving besides Tim, so none of these guys are going to be improving either. Maybe they got penalties or held each other up, or who knows? I'm not too sure. Piero, Aston in the background with time penalties. They won't be, well, it'll be tough for them to serve the penalties. Not impossible. I think someone's gone off in front. We're right on board with Topster. It is Tim who is in the barrier but has backed off his time. And the 2 teammates fighting for runners-up in Constructors have blown their chances away of Topster improving after making contact with Tim, both with damage. Ends in disaster. A qualifying to forget, or a moment in qualifying to forget, as Dutchy leads Bonnie Evil both in qualifying and on the track. Bonnie with the slipstream effect, being behind the car in front. He's improving by almost a second. This could be good enough to get him ahead of Tim if he finishes off the final few sectors cleanly. Can Saint promote himself any higher than 6th place with 2 minutes left to go in qualifying? Everyone on their final laps in this qualifying session. We started with 18 minutes here at Le Mans, such a long circuit, and I have just realised I haven't got my stats up yet, so hopefully we get them up in time before the formation lap. Saint's not improving. He's picked up a time penalty. What about play Dutchy though? He's been overtaken by Bonnie Evil. Google's no longer working. Everything is not going as planned. There we go. Here goes Dutchy and Bonnie round the final few corners. Only 3-4 to go. From here, a left, a right, then a left, then a right. How cleanly, how quickly can they negotiate these corners? Bonnie following Dutchy. Can Bonnie improve? Can Dutchy extend his advantage on provisional pole? It doesn't look like it. Where can Bonnie put himself? It's the front row of the grid in second place. Ashton with a 1 second 10th penalty. Doesn't look like he's going to be improving. And I think will be one of the last drivers to set a fast lap. Piero actually does improve and goes up into 8th place. But here's your grid then for the final ever GT Sports race here at Gavra Racing. It's Clay Dutchy on pole position, and Bonnie Evil will start alongside him on the front row of the grid. Ahead of Tim in 3rd and Tiger in 4th, who's going across the grid backwards. Or maybe he's doing a practice start in reverse. I'm not sure how well that will turn out. Finn starting in 5th place, ahead of Toussaint in 6th, Manuel in 7th, ahead of Pierre in 8th, Aston in 9th with Topster in 10th, Wolfie in 11th, ahead of his teammates Head in 12th, and Webson's in 13th, rounds up the back of the grid. There you go, there is your starting grid once again, followed by all the cars that the drivers will be in for one final time on this game. The grid has been set for the final time on this game, and Play Dutchy with another pole position will be looking to see himself win the final race of the season. Championships have been wrapped up, but that's not going to stop us from having a good race. 39 corners at this 8.467 mile long circuit. It's the one and only Circuit de la Sarthe, more commonly known as Le Mans, as we build to 5 red lights. The engine's roaring, its lights out, and away we go. No one's jumped the start this time, and it's a clean start from Tim, who's already leading this race, and they run up towards turn 1 and 2. Boniver on the inside, Finn making it 3 wide, with Dutchy in the middle. Who's going to come out on top? Baston's gone off onto the gravel through turn 1. But so far it's a fairly clean start. Tiger on the inside up into 6th place, going wheel to wheel with Manuel in the background. The Austrian getting himself ahead. Piero making a little bit of contact with Tiger's rear right tyre. Wolfie up into 9th place, gaining 2 positions from the start. Ted dropping just a little bit off the back of Topster in 11th. Tim leads the field away by 4 tenths, 7 tenths clear of Dutchy in 3rd place. Bon Evil gaining with the slipstream, leaving Dutchy out to dry, but the slipstream's going to bring them all back into it. Here goes Bon Evil on the inside, pulling alongside, and swoop past Tim, goes up into the lead of the race. Dutchy in the Todo is going to claw himself back into this one as Finn looking for a move on the inside of Toussaint, gets the move down. Manuel on the inside of Tiger. Tiger then becomes the inside for the second half of the chicane, makes a little bit of contact with the Mercedes. The Manuel not getting the best of the lines, having to defend from the Brit. This is vulnerable to Piero in front. Meanwhile, Bon Evil leading from Tim, but for how much longer? Because Tim with a brilliant run with the slipstream. He's not close enough though to go for a move. He's maybe going to save some fuel or work with Bon Evil to try and extend a lead out in front. Meanwhile, Topster going wheel to wheel with Websons, but has to back out of it. It wouldn't quite close enough to go for a move. Ted catching up to the back of this train as well, and Aston making the mistake at turn 1. This drops down 13 seconds behind the rest of the field. Tim less than a tenth behind Bon Evil, now alongside Bon Evil, now ahead of Bon Evil as he goes down the inside. Gets the move done up into towards the lead of the race as they single-filely make their way through, as that's Ted off and round in the background, but Tim and Bonnie going side by side in the run down towards Indianapolis. Here goes Play Dutchy with overspeed from the corner. Where's he going to go, left or right? Is he going to be close enough to make a move? Because here comes Finn on the outside. Can he get ahead of Play Dutchy? He's now up into a podium position. Dutchy now being challenged left, right and centre. He's gone from 3rd to 5th. There's Toussaint on the inside, but looking to get ahead of the Dutch, but he's now falling down the order, but gets himself up into 4th place round the outside of Indianapolis. Keeps the position ahead of the Season 1 champion. Finn going deep and cuts across everyone with a huge step of oversteer. I think that's Tiger off, and he's hit Piero, who's hit Wolfie. Absolutely chaotic scenes in the final race of the season. What on earth just happened? I think the best point of view is to go from on board with Tiger Assassin. You can see Finn out of control on the exit, hits Tiger, who then comes back across the track, hits Piero, who then has nowhere to go and hits Wolf. He almost collects Tobster. Wow, that's half the field taken out in one corner. At the end of lap 1, it is Bon Evil who leaves the field from Tim. Toussaint in 3rd, Dutch in 4th, Wolby now up into 5th, 7th place, going will to will with Tobster through the final few corners. Brave from Tobster, but picks up a 5/10 penalty. Wolby's into the pits with damage from the collision. Webson's came off clean. Tiger with damage, Piero with damage, Ted with no damage. Aston has no damage either. But that is the biggest crash we've ever had on this game, and it's taken 5 seasons to get one that big. Dutchy then dropping down into 8th place, and behind Webson's, because of those events that unfolded, he's going for a move down the inside in towards turn 2. Gets the move done, might get a 5/10 penalty for just going over the curbs. But yeah, the track limits at this track are quite bizarre. 4 minutes into the 60, and half the field have been wiped out after Indianapolis. And the close race we were expecting is now going to be a two-way fight for the lead of the race. Toussaint with Manuel closely behind him. Not quite in Tim's slipstream just yet, but is coding with the speed of that Mercedes Sauber. Tim just staying behind Bon Evil for now, can't quite negotiate a way through, but the guys coming out of the pits have all gone for a set of the soft compounder tyre. Maybe they can go to the end and stretch out, but they're going to be quicker than these guys out in front, but have had to repair the damage. So it's going to be interesting to see where they filter out at the end of this race. I mean, Tiger Assassin's 40 seconds behind the race leader, but it's not over yet. Toussaint has been able to close down that gap to Tim and Bon Evil out in front now, 5/10 of a second, bringing Manuel along with him. Finn leading Tobster by a second, but in 8th place is 4 seconds behind. And what's happened here? They're 3 wide. Toussaint's now up into the lead of the race. What has happened? We need to know. Unfortunately, the replay didn't go quite far back, so Stubby's going to dodge, but Toussaint's gone from 3rd to 1st, Bonnie from 1st to 4th. There might have been a collision between Tim and Bon Evil, maybe a little bit of a punt going into the hairpin. It's going to allow Manuel to now go down the inside in towards Indianapolis, gets the move done. Toussaint couldn't quite find the way through. Bon Evil looking to go for a move on the inside of Tim, but I couldn't quite pull it off. Now he's in 4th place. Finn and Tobster are both closing in on this battle for the lead, so that gaps are closing at a significant rate. Here goes Toussaint now on the inside of Manuel in towards the Porsche curbs and comfortably gets ahead, breaks early to serve a penalty, and Manuel swoops back around the outside. The lead changes once again. We've had 5 different drivers leading this race, and we've had 2 laps of racing here at Le Mans, the Circuit de la Sarthe in France. Looking towards the back of the grid for those drivers who got caught up in the lap 1 incident, which took out half of the field, the biggest crash we've seen on this game. All started by the driver in 5th place, who does have front right suspension damage. Bon Evil trying to make his way past Tim in towards the first few corners, couldn't quite get it done, as Finn in the background picks up a 5/10 penalty for going over the white lines and the curbs. Tim's getting out of shape on the grass. That could allow Bon Evil to set himself up for a move and even allow Finn to go through, and his teammate's going to follow him through. Tim going from 3rd to 6th with one mistake at 2 corners, costing him a heap of time, and will need to find his composure to find the time back. Hello, welcome to everyone tuning in now. You're just about to witness a move for the lead of the race. Toussaint getting it comfortably done, but Manuel's going to have the opportunity to fight back at the next chicane. Tim a second behind his teammate Topster, running in 6th place after the mistake a few corners ago. Dutchy 2.5 seconds behind and gaining at quite a quick rate. He's gained a second in the last lap, or a second here or there. Here goes Manuel with the slipstream, with the extra straight line speed. Not close enough to go for anything down the inside, but he's almost looking. He's almost in the boot of the Tusane's car, if it even has a boot. I don't think these cars were designed to fit luggage and other stuff, but closely trailing the back of Tusane, just backs off. Doesn't decide to go for a move. Bon Evil on the inside of Finn. Can he slow it down in time? Yes, he can, but Finn with a beautiful switchback move pulls up alongside Bon Evil. It's Jaguar versus Nissan. Which one's going to come out on top as they make their way down the back straight? Looks like the Jag just got the straight line speed advantage. Meanwhile, Tusane and Manuel going wheel to wheel in the running towards Indianapolis. Tusane gets the move done, back up into the lead of the race, but Manuel's going to send one on the inside. Tusane swoops around the outside and keeps the lead of the race. Hasn't won a race this season and will be looking to find himself back up on the top step of the podium, but goes deep. And I'm not sure if there was contact. Let's double check. I don't want to be waving the finger and saying there was contact if there wasn't. No contact made. Tusane going deep, costing himself the lead of the race. Now drops down to 4th place. 3/10 behind Finn, as Tim gets his way up into 5th place. He's now 1.6 seconds ahead of his teammate Topster, 1.3 seconds ahead of Play Dutchy, who's coming back into this race. If we remember a few laps ago, Tiger was 39 seconds behind Bon Evil, the race leader at the time. He's now 35 seconds behind, and he's going for a move on Wolfing towards Indianapolis, gets it done, up into 11th place, so he has gained 5 seconds in the last lap. That is how much the leaders have been battling, and that is how quick the soft compound tyres are. We'll have to wait and see how they'll come back into this at the end of the race. It's such a long circuit, but still the same amount of time as every other race this season. 60 minutes is the length of this race, so no set number of laps this time, changing up to a 60-minute endurance race to determine the winner of the final race of season 5, round number 9. Let's see if we can get a different race winner. We've only had 2 this season, Play Dutchy and Tim, who are both running in 5th and 7th place, not having the best of races. But this is what has made this season so entertaining. It's that different car classes and different tracks have provided different drivers to show off their potential. This week it's Manuel who has found the best in his Mercedes, and he's leading this race by 7/10. He'll be doing his absolute best to pull away from Bonnie and Finn, who are going wheel to wheel. Finn, the instigator of the main crash on the opening lap, no fault of his own, lost the rear and unfortunately lost it into the path of the rest of the field behind. Is he going to go for a double move here on Tusane and Bon Evil? Tusane's gone over onto the curb. He's now onto the grass and he's onto the gravel even. Rejoins behind Finn. He may even go behind him, who's got a good run from the chicane, pulls up alongside, easily gets ahead of Tusane. A few mistakes being made from Tusane early on in this race. Maybe he's not quite found the rhythm, or maybe it's just the added effect of the slipstream that's putting some of these drivers off slightly. Could have been a late send from Finn on Bon Evil. We've seen these two have a bit of history in the past. History tends to repeat itself. Play Dutchy was 8th 2 laps ago. He's now up into 6th place and only 3 seconds behind the race leader. Bon Evil slows down to serve some of his 2.1 seconds worth of time penalties. The top 6, almost the top 7 in the same camera shot. Back down to Pierre and Wolby going wheel to wheel. Looks like Pierre has gone off and made a mistake. Tucked back into the slipstream of the Irish driver. Let's just have a look to see what happened to Pierre. He was ahead. brakes too late and is no longer ahead. Drops down to 13th place, just behind. Tim looking for a move on Finn. The drivers for 1 and 2, never mind, I was going to say a fact that wasn't true. Never mind, ignore me. The driver who took pole position, played Dutch, he's now down to 6th place. That's how quickly this race has turned on its head. I can't quite remember where Manuel started, but he is now leading this race. Dutchy now putting Toussaint under a significant amount of pressure. We'll be looking to get past as soon as possible, but Toussaint's not going to give this one up without a fight. Hello, welcome to everyone tuning in for the final GT Sport race of the season, round number 9 of season 5, and we're at the classic Group 1 cars at Le Mans. What a name a better combination if you dare. I mean, just listen to how beautiful these cars are. What a noise. And I'm sure the British fans will be making some noise for Bon Evil as he makes his way up into the lead of the race, getting past Malmo. You can see the slipstream train following in pursuit behind. Malmo's going to go for it on the inside. There's contact between the two. Bon Evil now down to 3rd place, maybe even 4th place, with Tim trying to go round the outside of the Brit. The lack of momentum costing him a few positions. Toussaint might find himself up a position into 4th. He's alongside Bon Evil. You can just about see his front left tyre. Just keeping in there with the slipstream from Tim in towards the second chicane. A little bit of door banging as Toussaint almost gets himself up into 5th place, but Bonnie says no thank you, and takes back the position. We can get another replay in chase cam. I'm not sure, was there contact? There was initial contact. There was a teeny bit of contact in the second half of the chicane that followed. But look at this, the top 7 separated by 2.5 seconds. When I said in qualifying this is going to be the best race of the season, maybe even the best race ever in Gavra racing, I don't think I was wrong. We had the almighty lap 1 incident, and well, the ones that survived are in this fight for the lead. Look at all 7 beautiful Group 1 cars, and you have to say they've done an absolutely outstanding job with their liveries as well. Some modern, some retro liveries. Absolute bangers, I think is a good way to word it. Finn leading the field through the Porsche curves on lap 5 out of however many we get in this race. I'm not too sure, but we've had 15 minutes and 5 laps. You do the maths, that's about 20 laps of someone, Finn and Tim going way too well. Of course it's these two, and Finn almost going into the pits. Cuts back over the curb, Bon Evil goes through. Finn goes off in the final corner, swipes back over the track in no control. Topster almost collected. Thank you for the ghosting system. What happened here? If we could slow it down. I think Finn thought about pitting, but then bailed out at the last minute. Don't think he made contact with anyone. But then, yeah, and then lost it in the final corner. That's him out of the equation for the time being. He's 8 seconds behind Topster. That suspension damage not doing him too great. Tim purple through the first sector. Maybe we might see some drivers pit for the soft compound tyres that go to the end of the race. If we look at Wolfies, for example, he's been on them for 4 laps. I reckon he can do another 16 laps on those tyres and go to the end. So maybe pitting early, we'll see a similar strategy to last week at Saint-Croix, where everyone pit within the first 3 laps pretty much to get off of the hard compound tyres, go to the end of either mediums or 2 sets of softs. Manuel under pressure from the flying Finn, running in second place, bump drafting the Mercedes in front. It is a Mercedes 1 and 2 here at Le Mans, and if you look behind you can see the closing cars of Bonnie, Toussaint and Tobster in close pursuit. Let's just hope it doesn't end off in the barrier. Welcome Cryptek, who almost died, but your friend drove you home, I'm assuming, and you're all safe and sound. That's what we love to hear. Bonnie will go for a move on Tim, and maybe Manuel as well, down the inside. Can he get the move done on Tim? Yes, he does. Manuel's got a bit deep, and Tim, with a better exit, gets up into second place. Manuel now drops to fourth. Cryptek, you have missed a lot. You missed a massive lap 1 accident. Manuel's actually got damage. I don't know where he got that one from, but it is front left suspension damage, so I'm going to assume in the first sector. Cryptek, if you can find everyone's stream, go back and watch lap 1 after Indianapolis. I would highly recommend it. This corner here, there was a little bit of a it was a fun start. Here goes Toussaint on the inside of Bonnie, gets the move done up into second place, and now has Tim in front to attack. Dutchy making his way through the field after the incident on the opening lap, which caused victims to Webson's, Tiger, Piero, Wolfie, Ted as well, dropping to the back of the grid. That is one way to take out your competitors. Meanwhile, Tim leading the field on lap 6. I think we've had a different race leader at the end of every lap. Toussaint and Bonnie making a British 2, 3, and Tobster the highest ranking German so far in this race, with Finn dropping down to 7th place after his spin at the final corner and his decision not to come into the pits. Is anyone going to come into the pits? Manuel is to repair the damage fit on a set of the soft compound tyres. I'd imagine Finn, being his teammate, would probably follow him in. Does so. Keep an eye on those two. They've got damage and they're quite a way behind, but we've seen those soft compound tyres are significantly quicker than the mediums. At the end of lap 2, Tiger Assassin was 40 seconds behind the race leader Bonneville at the time. He is now 33, so he's gained 7 seconds in the last 5 laps, and he's trying to get a move done on Webson's. He runs over the sausage curb, and now that's the gift that Tiger needs to get up into 7th place and hunt down Aston F1 in front. Manuel filters out just behind Tiger and ahead of Webson's. Piero gaining on the back of Webson's as well, and his Mercedes Sauber. We'll be looking to try and get ahead of Webson's Mercedes Sauber. The battle for 9th place. We've got a battle for 7th place with Manuel coming out of the pit behind Tiger. Maybe Tiger might use Webson's as fresh softs to get him back into this race, drag him along with the slipstream. In the background, Piero's already got Webson's there, wheel to wheel, down the back straight, and it looks like Webson's is going to get the position done. Actually, Webson's is fighting back. Here goes Tiger and Aston in towards the first chicane. Aston's got a little bit deep. Manuel's going to swoop his way around the outside and make his way up into 7th place. Piero getting the move done up into 9th. Toussaint leading this race ahead of Tim. For how much longer though? Here goes Dutchy on top, still can't quite find way through. Tim is gaining all the time. Just listen, going into Indianapolis, these cars absolutely sounding so beautiful. Make sure to have your audio up as we ride on board with Tim. Oh, a huge tank snapper for Tim on the exit of the corner. He's thankfully hasn't put it in the wall, but has lost in time to Toussaint, and Bon Evil gaining in the background behind. Topster still it leads ahead of Play Dutch in the battle for 4th place. Tiger in 5th. What's happened to Manuel? He's dropped down to 10th place. I've no idea what happened to him. I don't know if there was contact between him and Tiger. The replays aren't going to go too far, or aren't going to go that far enough behind, but he's now just only ahead of his teammate Finn. There might have been contact. They were close to each other on track, but who knows? It might have been a mistake. It might have been contact. Toussaint leads the field, starting lap 8, finishing lap 7 as we're 24 minutes into the 60-minute race. Tim ahead of Bonnie, ahead of Topster, who's ahead of Dutchy at the back of this train. Well, they've all got fairly similar amounts of fuel. Tim deep at turn 1 and cuts turn 2. He may not get a penalty because he's lost positions to both Bon Evil and his teammate Tobbs. Actually just stays ahead of Tobbs, who only gets 5/10 of a penalty, so the game being a little bit lenient. Could have been a lot worse for cutting that much of the circuit. Loses a lot of time to the cars in front, but keeps Topster behind. That might hinder Topster because he's got Play Dutchy right behind him. They could be 3 wide, heading into the first of 2 chicanes in this huge long straight. Play Dutchy in the Jag, gaining on Topster in the Nissan. Meanwhile in front, Bon Evil's going for it on Toussaint. He's not close enough though to go for a move. Tim defending from Dutchy and Topster behind. The Dutchman getting ahead of the German up into 4th place. We'll be looking to find one more position at the end of this straight, with the flying fin of Tim in front of him. Wow, I think that's the best sentence I've ever said. 3 rhymes, can you believe it? I think we should clip that, save it, upload it to TikTok or something. Here goes Bon Evil, going for a move on Toussaint on the inside in towards the second chicane. Can he slow it down in time and keep it clean? Yes, he can. Gets himself up into the lead of the race, and Toussaint picks up a 5/10 time penalty. A few time penalties for drivers behind. Tim with 4/10, Topster with 9. The battle for 9th place. Aston and Wolfie, 2 rivals, battling for a way for 8th place. Here goes Aston and Wolfie weaving to break the slipstream. Here goes Aston pulling over to the right hand side of the track to try and go around the outside, but couldn't quite conduct a move through. Bon Evil still leads from Toussaint. How much longer though is that lead going to last for? Going into Indianapolis for the 8th time. Stays ahead. Dutchy on the inside of Tim. Tim gives him the room. Dutchy just couldn't quite find the correct key to open the door, and has to settle in for 4th place for now. Wolfie ahead of Aston in 8th place. Manuel ahead of his teammate in 11th and 10th, sorry. Wilson's kind of in no man's land at the minute. As the battle for the lead of the race continues, and Tiger Assassin now only 30 seconds behind the race leader. Could potentially take those off to the end, but it is going to be an almighty stretch. Hello, welcome to everyone tuning in for the final GT Sport race of the season. We've got a 5-way fight for the lead of the race between Bonnie, Toussaint, Tim, Dutchy and Topster, all on the medium compound of tyres. Is anyone coming into the pits? No, they are not. And this time it's going to be Bon Evil who leads the field, starting lap number 9 out of what I think is going to be 11 or 10, depending on how quick they do these laps. Is Toussaint going to go for a move in towards turn 2? No, he's just going to back off, serve his time penalty. He's close though, he's got a really good run through turn 1. Can he change the number next to his name into a 1? No, not quite. It has to. We'll keep the number 2 for now. Running in 2nd place. And Topster is not dropping off at the back of his train. He's still keeping in it. 7/10 of a second. 30 seconds though ahead of Tiger Assassin. The kind of drop-off point from where everyone got involved in the lap 1 incident. Meanwhile, the racing for position number 1 is yet to be decided, with the long train of cars. No longer a single file train, because Tim pulls out to try and go for a move down the inside of Toussaint, but couldn't quite find the way through. On the exit of the chicane, in towards the second chicane, it's another long straight. Bon Evil's got a pretty intimidating view behind him of 4 rapidly approaching fast cars. Are only going to pull over and go for a move. Toussaint's going to continue to push Bonnie down the straight. Could leave him vulnerable to Tim behind. This is probably one of the better overtaking opportunities. Anyone going to go for it? On the in or outside. Bonnie's parked his car in the middle of the track, inviting Toussaint either side. Doesn't look like Toussaint's going to go for anything unless he's brave on the brakes. Not on this occasion. Has, however, got a really good run through the hairpin. Is this now his chance to go for a move? Or is he going to work with the rival teams to try and get ahead of Tim and Playduchy? The top 4 separated by about a second, and none of them are teammates, so this should make it an interesting fight to see who doesn't finish on the podium. That is what this battle effectively is. It's to see who loses out on the top 3 position. That's probably the darker way of putting it. Who will win this race? Let me know, ladies and gentlemen, in the chat. Who, with 30 minutes left to go, we're halfway through the race. Let's hear your predictions in the chat for who you think is going to win this race. Is it going to be one of these top 5? If so, which one will finish ahead of the rest? If it's not one of the top 5, who's it going to be? Manuel and Finn going wheel to wheel, and they've got Wolfie close behind, going into Indianapolis for the 9th time this evening. Why did I say there's going to be 11 laps? Sorry, there's going to be 18 laps. Don't know where I got 11 from, but 18 laps of this race. That was close with 20 earlier. Dutchy's into the pits. Dutchy and Topster triggering the undercut attempt by coming into the pits earlier than the cars in front. Apologies for opening up the chat, but the undercut, for those who are unfamiliar with the undercut, you pit early off of your slower tyres and pit for a fresh set, and undercut the drivers who stayed out on the Warner set of the slower tyres. It does, however, mean though the cars who have stayed out will get the benefit at the end of the race on a lap fresher set of tyres. Will any of the top 3 react and go into the pits? Where are Finn and Manuel? Where are they going to filter out in this battle? They were right up there with the front runners. Oh, Dutch and Thompson are just coming out of the pits. Here goes Tiger Assassin. It's going to be interesting to see if he can take those off to the end of the race, because if he can, his race is not over, despite forgetting turn 2. I'm sure a second penalty will be given for that. 5/10 of a second. Stays ahead of Pierre. Meanwhile, Tim and Finn, Bonnie and Tim going wheel to wheel, as Bonnie has to take to corner cutting to stay on the track, and loses a heap of time. Not sure if he lost it. He's backed off the serve penalty and then kind of forgot to brake. Tim and Toussaint now going side by side in towards the second chicane. Mercedes versus Jaguar. It is the Jag that comes out on top. Tim 1.7 seconds ahead of Bon Evil. Dutchy 6/10 ahead of Topster, 3 seconds ahead of Tiger, who's 3/10 clear of Piero. Finn and Manuel still fairly close to one another on the track, 8th and 9th place, 4 seconds behind Piero. Wolfie in 10th, hasn't pit yet, and has Aston 30 odd seconds behind him on a fresh set of soft compound tyres. Dutchy owns the fastest lap of the race, currently running in 4th place. He's 27 seconds behind the race leaders, and he is gaining. Dutchy and Topster could promote themselves into a 1-2. Look how much time they're gaining on the front 2. Are they going to fight into Indianapolis? No, they're not. Tim's going to lose it on the grass. Does he keep it out of the barriers? Just about. Onto the gravel though, into Indianapolis, and that is certainly him filtering out behind Topster. and Dutchy when he makes his pit stop, maybe even Tiger Assassin, depending on how much time he lost. Takes avoiding action, just trying not to hit the back of Two Saints Jag, and has cost him 5-6 seconds to Bon Evil. He's now only 20 seconds ahead of Dutchy and needs to make a pit stop. Is that Tim's chances of winning this race over? Two Saint now in the hot seat and a good chance to win this race. Is he going to come into the pits at the end of this lap? Let's ride on board with car number 27. At the end of lap 10 on to 11. Pulls into the pits. Bonnie follows him in. Tim, I'm sure, will come into the pits as well, and the top three will be fitting a fresh set of soft compound tyres to see them out to the end of the race. Dutchy still ahead of Tobster, but not losing him in this race, and these two, I'm going to guess, are going to filter out 1 and 2 ahead of Bonnie, Two Saint and Tim. I think the undercut is the way to go. It's the way to go in this game. Worn softs are as quick as fresh mediums, and there is no comparison between fresh softs and worn mediums. There you have it. They have jumped Two Saint by quite the margin. He's still coming out of the pits. Bonnie was going up and sprinted up behind Piero and Tiger. So the two drivers who are out of the equation on lap 1 due to the damage sustained are now in 4th and 5th place, but on very worn soft compound tyres. Tim now filters out behind Finn and Manuel, not where he would have wanted to be. Wolfie into the pits, and we hope to come out ahead of Aston F1. But Two Saint's got a lot of work to do if he's to win this race. There is the tyres on Tiger and Piero. For their sakes, hopefully they can do those tyres again and make it to the end of the race. Here goes Piero looking for a move on the right hand side of the circuit, with Bonnie even close pursuit. Might try and make it 3 wide, pulls up alongside Piero going into the second chicane. Does he go for it on Tiger? No, not quite. Tiger's gone deep though, cuts across the track ahead of Piero. Thank you once again for the ghosting system polyphony, because there would have been another airborne accident. Tiger's now lost himself a lot of time to Piero and is now under pressure from Manuel, Finn and Tim behind, so this race is now taking another turn. Aston's been able to get himself out ahead of Wolfie. 1.3 seconds is the gap, with Tobster and Dutchy 2 and 1. That's a really weird way of saying it. 1 and 2 in this race. 24 minutes left to go. And look at the train that hunts them down. Led by Bonnie Evil, ahead of Piero, Tiger, Manuel, Finn and Tim closely in pursuit. Number of drivers involved in the lap 1 incidents have now found themselves back in it, and with a chance to finish on the podium. But they've got to catch up to Two Saint first. 3 seconds is the gap between him and 4th place, and he's running in a good stable 3rd position. Runs a little bit wide through Indianapolis. Might have cost him about a 10th or 2. But it is still Play Dutchy who leads this way, but is under pressure from Tobster. Tobster is staying with your driver's champion and is scoring some good points for Tim and himself in the constructors' fight. A reminder, Tobster and Tim, Two Saint and Tiger in the constructors are separated by half a point. This is only for runners up. Last season we had the 2 constructors level on points. That is right, level on points going into the final race of the season. This season the 2 runners up are separated by half a point. You simply could not write it. Here goes Manuel for a move on the inside of the penultimate few corners, and Tiger, he makes contact and Tiger stays ahead but goes deep into the final corner, has a huge snap of oversteer on the exit. Manuel pulls up alongside with a lot of contact and not sure what's going on there. Looks like Tiger's really forcing Manuel wide through turn 1. Tensions are getting high into the final race of the season. Tigers cut turn 2 once again. That's going to drop him down to 9th place and will undoubtedly be a time penalty. Tim now going wheel to wheel with Manuel through turns 3 and 4. Gets a little bit of a wobble on, but gets ahead of the Austrian. Let's go back to the final corner incident. And I think that was completely unnecessary from Tiger there. Completely sideswiping Finn down the straight. Thankfully, thankfully no one with damage, but overreacting slightly in the final race of the season. Manuel now looking for a move on the inside of Tim. As the spice levels have just gone from 1 chili pepper to 2. Maybe it's gone up to 3 in this race. We've still got 21 minutes left. And it's getting interesting. Ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't already, grab your popcorn and a drink that will last you 21 minutes. Here goes Manuel on the inside of Tim. Isn't close enough to go for a move. Things are getting interesting and I'm a little bit nervous here. I don't know about those watching in the chat. I can see Cryptech. Well, Cryptech's got McDonald's. I'm not sure that's going to last you 20 minutes. Maybe even might last you 20 seconds. But I know I'm the admin of this league and I know I'm commentating on it. But I can foresee a crash. And I've got a few names in mind of who I think it might be with. I'm not going to say anything just yet because I don't want to point fingers at anyone, or I hope you know what I'm trying to refer to, but it gets very tense very quickly, especially when it's this close. Finn and Tim now going wheel to wheel through Indianapolis. Bon Evil's ran wide in similar fashion to when Finn lost it on the opening lap. Manuel's going to capitalise, go for it on Tim. Gets up into 7th place. He's going to go wheel to wheel with Bon Evil and use the slipstream of his teammate to help him get the move done. Up into 6th place, going into Indianapolis. Gets the move done. Here goes Tim on the inside of Bon Evil. Bonnie losing 2 positions in 2 corners. This is getting interesting. The gap out in front, 0.2 of a second. Tops are sticking with Clay Dutchy. They're dropping to Saint. The gap now 5.67 seconds. Pierre in 4th, 2 seconds behind, and it's all kicking off in the battle for 5th place. How many drivers are going to meet my friend Barry R in the remaining 19 minutes of this race? He's waiting off the edge of the track. He's waiting to greet one of these drivers facing backwards in the wall. He's got his yellow flag ready. Manuel looking for a move on the inside of his teammate, maybe defending from Finn in the process. Tiger with, I think, serving the penalty there, ghosting in the background. To put it into perspective of how close these guys are, Finn is 11.5 seconds behind the race leader, Play Dutchy. Tiger in 9th, so 4 cars ahead of him. There's 12.5 seconds behind the race leader. There's 4 cars separated by a second going down the back straights. Pierre, I think, has caught up to the back of Toussaint. Here goes Bon Evil for a move on Tim. Pulls over to the inside, but Finn Manuel pulls over to block him. Paul goes over for a move on Bon Evil, sending one on the inside. There's contact, I think. Tim's been forced wide, or he's gone deep. It's hard to tell which one of the two. Doesn't actually get a penalty. Let's rewatch it. Let's go chase cam. It's the easiest to see what's happening. Was a little bit of contact. Manuel didn't really have anywhere to go. Bon Evil on the inside didn't really help. Here goes Tiger and Manuel. This is going to be interesting. Keep it clean, please. Here goes Manuel defending on the exit. Tiger on the outside, on the left-hand side. Tucked into the slipstream for now. Edge of the seat stuff. It's like Hamilton and Verstappen. You don't know how it's going to end, but the likelihood is it could end up in a crash. Here goes Finn on the outside of Bon Evil, has gone too deep. He's now dropped into 8th place. May get overtaken by Tiger if he's got a good enough run. Topster still trailing Dutchy. 4/5 of a second. 2.5 tenths now behind Piero. Tim can't quite get ahead of Bon Evil. Finn can't quite get his teammate Manuel. Tiger just watching everything all unfold in the background for now. This is, well, it's, yeah. Tiger Assassin on the most worn soft tyres after pitting on lap 1 due to the damage. Piero joining him on that train, 2 with much fresher tyres, isn't pulling away. Bon Evil going wide, hasn't got a penalty. Tim looking to try and get ahead and up into 5th place. He's got a good run through the final corner now, down the start finish straight in towards turn 1 and 2. Is he close enough to go for a move? Not quite. Finn just dropping off at the back of Manuel, now 9/10 and a second now separating them. Topster with 2.3 seconds worth of time penalties. Will be looking to hunt down Play Dutchy for the lead of this race. Is he close enough though to go for anything in towards the first chicane? We'll have to wait and see. He's gaining and gaining and gaining. Is he going to go for a move on the in or outside? Dutchy pulls over. Topster's going for this on the outside, on the dirty part of the track. Does slow it down in time, but can't quite construct a move through. Piero not going for anything on Toussaint just yet, nor will Tim and Bon Evil. The risk of going for a move here is obviously you will lose the position down the next straights. Looks like Finn and Tiger just dropping off of this battle for 5th place, so put some distance between Tiger and Manuel with 14 minutes left to go, maybe for the better. Piero can't quite find a way past the season 1 champion. Bon Evil actually going purple through the 3rd sector. We're looking to try and get an extra point for the championship. As a Toussaint stays ahead of Piero for now. Finn going a little bit deep in towards the hairpin, and here goes Tiger Assassin gaining on the German. He's going to work with Finn to try and close back up to Manuel, and Bonnie and Tim in front going in towards Indianapolis. Here goes Tim on the inside of Bonnie, going into Indianapolis, will become the outside. Isn't quite alongside. Manuel looking to go for a move. I think he might have made contact there with the Finn in an attempted lunge on the inside. There it was, just a slight tap to the rear of Tim's car. I've only just noticed, what is that on Finn's? I've only just noticed the mirror on Finn's car. Since when has that been there? That's not been there the whole race, has it? Oh, it has been. It's on Topster's Nissan as well. I didn't realise the Nissan had a massive mirror. Anyway, distracted by the smallest of things. Dutchy leading this race by 0.2 of a second. So Topster in second, Hussein in third, with Piero in fourth, ahead of Bonnie in fifth, with Tim in sixth, and Manuel in seventh, ahead of his teammate eighth, and Finn in eighth, Tiger in ninth, and Aston in 10th, just ahead of Wolfie in 11th. We've seen this rivalry throughout the season, last season in the Group B Championships, 2 seasons ago in the Group B Championship, and it's kicking off once again here at Le Mans. Webson's in 11th, is ahead of Ted in 13th. Tiger doesn't have damage. No damage on Tiger's car. He's just awfully slow. No, I'm joking. And he's in AI mode. So, ladies and gentlemen, apologies about anything that may appear in the chat, or it could just be a controller disconnecting. Thanks, Gr1 for... Ooh! Soon as you want to play a joke, I'm going to play a joke. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, for the final time in GT Sport Championship Season 5, you know what's coming. You know what's coming. You know what's coming. The chat's gone crazy. I say the chat's gone... Gr1's gone crazy in the chat. On lap 15... I can't see how long's left because the chat is blocking the timer. 10 minutes and 47 seconds left to go. We have reached a bit of a lull in this race. For those new viewers, whenever that word and phrase is used, marshals are often waving yellow flags and someone is greeting my best friend Barrier in the Shadow Realm. We'll wait and see who the first victim is. Toussaint has actually lost a lot of time to Bonnie and Tim. Has he made a mistake? Has he made a mistake, or have they just closed up the timer? I'm looking at his last lap times, they have been a bit slow, so it could just be before the lull. Manuel's off with damage! The first victim has been claimed by the lull, and it's the Mercedes of Manuel at the same place his teammate lost it. And it's the same exact style of crash. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. The first and final lull this season. Bonnie and Tim going wheel to wheel. Tim now up into 4th place. Bonnie demoted down to 5th. A little bit of contact as they had banged doors. Finn now ahead of his teammate Manuel, who could pull into the pits. Wolfie 3/10 ahead of Aston in the battle for 10th place. A rivalry that's gone on for the past 3 seasons is set to conclude here at Le Mans. Play Dutchy though leads this race by 0.5 of a second to Topster. Tim all over the back of Toussaint. And they'll be looking to try and finish on the podium. But more importantly, ahead in Constructors, Topster in 2nd place is doing all he can to get the points they need. Topster and Tim are half a point behind Tiger and Toussaint. And at this, as it stands, they will finish in 2nd place and knock Tiger and Toussaint down into 3rd position. It can still all change. We've still got 8 minutes left to go. Aston just dropping off the back of Wolfie. His tyres are slightly more worn than the Irishman in front. He's a minute 30 seconds ahead of Ted and Webson's. Tim now ahead of Bonnie. What's happened to Toussaint? He's just dropped off. He's now 1.6 seconds behind. What is going on? It could be a wheel issue. It looks like he's in AI mode. Ghosting. It doesn't look like his pedals are working properly, maybe. Let's have a look at his braking inputs. Going into the next corner, Bonnie will get ahead of Tim. The brakes seem to be stuttering a little bit. It could just be his foot application. Maybe he's not happy with where the car's handling. I'm not too sure what's happened to the Season 1 champion, but this guarantees Tim and Topster finishing in second place in the team's championship. Topster's in the... Wait, what's happened? Topster and Dutch, I think, have had an incident. Let's have a replay. The lull has worked to its full potential. Dutchy ahead of Topster. Did Topster hit the back of Dutchy? There was slight contact. Dutchy's off into the shadow realm. You can't even see his car in the camera shot. Topster slows down to let Dutchy go back through. Good sportsmanship from Topster. No damage for either driver. Hello, welcome to everyone watching. This race has just gone up to the 5th chili pepper or spice. We started with 1, it went up to 3 very quickly, now we're on level 5. I don't know what the scale goes up to, but it's currently at the highest it could be. The leaders crashing, Manuel spinning, and Toussaint dropping down to 5th place, could be under pressure from Piero in the next few laps. 6 minutes left to go, 2 laps left in the final GT Sport race of the season. Who is going to win this race? Who's going to finish on the podium? 2 unanswered questions which will be resolved in 5 minutes and 30 seconds. Will it be Dutchy or Topster? Bon Evil or Tim? Let me know who you guys in the chat think is going to win this race or finish in the final podium position. Will Toussaint stay ahead of Piero by the end of this race, and is Tiger Assassin going to crash with Manuel despite the 21-second margin between them? And will Aston beat out Wolfie in the final race of the season? So many answered questions, but we will get the answer to all of them in the near future. Tim still trailing Bon Evil, waiting for the perfect opportunity to strike a move and get ahead. Is it going to be here and now? No, it's not. What about for Topster? Can he stop Dutchy from winning this the final race of the season? Can Topster pull something out of the bag and win this race? I just want to check the statistics quickly. Topster has never finished on the podium this season. His first could be a race win. Pulls back over into the slipstream before braking for the corner. Slows it down in time. What about Tim and Bon Evil behind? Separated by 0.5 of a second. This is the best race of the season so far. Action throughout the grid. Piero's off. Piero has lost it on home soil with 4 minutes left to go. The lull has worked for one last time, and it's claiming many, many victims. Another one bites the dust. Piero, though, keeps 6th place for now. Who and what will unfold next? First it's Manuel, second it's Topster and Dutchy, now it's Piero. The racing for 3rd place will continue on as we start, or are close to starting, for one last time. Dutchy leads the field away for the final lap on this game here in Le Mans in the Jaguar XJR ahead of Topster. I know who we're all cheering for. I know who I'm cheering for to win this race. Does currently have a 9/10 penalty to serve on this lap. No favouritism whatsoever. Looks like the gaps are opening up throughout the field. We concentrate on the battle for the lead. Can Topster find an extra gear and claim another position for his first win and podium of the season? He does have to serve 8/10 of a penalty. Where and how is he going to do it? Looking behind him, 8/10 ahead of Bon may have him covered. Wolfie and Aston, the rivalry of the ages. They are separated by a ton. Here goes Aston on the inside and towards the penultimate corner. Can't quite find a way through. Thompson might just get a 5/10 penalty for that. Going over the curve. Looks like he's got away with it. He served 2/10 of his 8/10 penalty. Aston and Wolfie are wheel to wheel up the hill in towards turn 2. Aston on the outside, doesn't slow it down in time. He's on the curve just about, actually slows it down. Wolfie on the outside. These two scrapping away to see who is their better driver. Their rivalry roaring on from season 3 or 2, 4, 3. It was season 3. Bon Evil now ahead of Tim in this race. He's got ahead at some point during the lap, not too sure when though. Can Topster serve 6/10 and find 6/10? The last overtaking opportunities on this game in this league. Finn closing in on the back of Piero. Aston just dropping off the back of Wolfie for now. Here goes Topster, he's going to go for it in towards Indianapolis. He can't quite find a move. He's still got 5/10 of a penalty left to serve. Crash into him. Take him out. We won't penalise you. Time is running out thick and fast. Finn ahead of Piero. Finn's gone deep and he's in the gravel. Piero will get 6th place in this race. Yellow flags and Finn's in the wall. Meanwhile, Topster and Dutchy go wheel to wheel on the final lap for the lead of the race. But it looks like Dutchy's done enough. With Topster's 3/10 penalty, he's going to have to send it on the inside. The wheel to wheel into the final corner. Dutchy gets ahead though, but for the final time, for the final race, finish it up in style, finishes how he started. It's Play Dutchy who wins here in Le Mans. Topster in a stunning 2nd place, his first podium, and one well fought. Bon Evil will finish in 3rd, ahead of Tim in 4th. He just lost drive at the end, ahead of Toussaint in 5th. Piero in 6th. Gifted by Finn's mistake, drops down to 8th place behind Tiger Assassin, who will finish in 7th place after his controversial collisions with Manuel, which I'm sure the stewards might look at but may not pay too much attention to, as it's the final race of the season. It has no implication on the championship. Finn finishes in 8th place, ahead of his teammate Manuel in 9th. What about the battle for Wolfie and Aston? They're off! Aston's off! And he's in the wall! What is happening? He's reversing back onto the circuit. And there you have it. The rivalry ends in the wall between Aston and Wolfie. Is Wolfie slowing down? Are they going to go wheel to wheel across the line? Has Wolfie run out of fuel maybe? No, he hasn't. He is slowing down. And are they going to go wheel to wheel across the line? The battle for 10th place. Who's going to finish out on top through the final corner for the final time? It is Wolfie ahead of Aston across the line. And for the final time, it's the same helmet who continues to win. Play Dutchy taking home another victory here in Le Mans, just beating out Topster in 2nd place. And oh my word, what a race! What a race. We're going to request for some donuts in the chat. Aston's already left. He's Not too fast about the donuts. Nor is Manuel. Let's see if we can get some donuts from a few of the drivers still in the lobby. Before we do so though, there is your finishing order for today's race. Play Dutchie beating out Topster by 7/10, not including Topster's 1 second time penalty at the end. Bon Evil in third, claiming another podium, just beating out Tim in fourth place. Toussaint in fifth for beating out Pierre in sixth. The Headed Tiger in seventh. Finn in eighth. Manuel in ninth. Wolf in 10th. Aston in 11th. Ted in 12th. And Webson's rounding out the grid in 13th. Bon Evil claim an extra point for the fastest lap. But my word, since we used the L word, since we reached the lull, the leaders crashed and Piero span, Manuel span and Finn crashed. Aston and Wolfie ended their rivalry in the barrier. And there you have it. Donuts on the exit of the pit lane to see out what's been an absolutely amazing season on such an amazing championship. For me, it's been an absolute pleasure to both commentate, drive and admin these previous 4 seasons. I want to say a special shout out as well to Duke, who well, without him this probably wouldn't all have happened. He kicked things off in season 1 and then we took over for season 2 and beyond. Another thank you to all the drivers for turning up week in, week out and providing the action on the circuit that they have done all season long. And just to go over a few things on this game, let's just recap the previous 5 seasons. Toussaint winning the Drivers' Championship in season 1 without a win to his name, but was able to claim victory. No Teams Championship in that. Season 2 came along, we kept Group 3, and that's when Dutchie asserted his dominance. It was a close field, but Dutchie came out on top in that one. Season 3, where I made my debut, and we changed things up a bit and we went to Group 4, Group 3 and Group 2 for some multi-class racing across 12 different tracks. Dutchie winning the Drivers' Championship and Tiger and Toussaint winning in the teams. Season 4, and Play Dutchie once again win his 3rd Constructors' Championship in a row, and Tiger and Toussaint claimed their 3rd Teams Championship in a row as well. Season 5 came along and we had to squeeze in a short season before GT7. 9 races at 13 different tracks with sprint races and 3 races, half points, reverse grids, 5-minute qualies. We changed things up this season. We've got different cars at different tracks. Dutchie though was still able to beat the rest of the field. Claim home the championship and his first Teams Championship alongside his trustworthy Frenchman Piero, who he's had success in F1 before. I don't think there's anything else to say from me, but thank you once again so much. It's been an absolute pleasure. I have enjoyed every minute, every second, through the highs and the lows. Through the overtakes, the dive bombs, the crashes, the photo finishes, we've had the lot. Thank you, everyone, and I can't wait for GT7. So, what a way to end it. I've been X90G. Thank you to all the viewers who have stayed loyal. Welcome any new viewers, and I hope to see as many of you as possible on GT7. Join our Discord if you're interested. Gavra Racing, you can find it on the website as well for more information. Events coming soon. I'll see you guys next time. Please, I know these are tricky times with what's happening in Ukraine and Russia, but stay safe, and I'll see you guys next season for a fresh start on Gran Turismo 7. Who knows? Maybe I might drive. Goodbye.